All right. Hello, everyone. This is Sir Adrian back here, stepping in for Scullion to help film the Japanese turn in our current game we're having, Operation Bersaglieri, in the fall winter of 1914. So, this should be relatively short. In terms of tech, the Japanese are going to try and get wartime economy up a stage. So we'll go ahead and roll that first. So they need a 7 or higher. That's a 5, which is quite unfortunate. So no go this time around. In terms of purchases, they'll be spending all 6 of their IPP to purchase 2 infantry units. And because of the random event we got this turn, just like the Americans, they will also have a militia as well as a coastal artillery and a fortification they could place. I think in our game those will be much less useful, at least the coastal artillery and the fortification, as they shouldn't really come under any threat from the Germans in a lot of the islands they own in their home country in terms of any amphibious assaults or anything like that. But you never know. Yeah, and so aside from that stuff, they'll just be buying 2 infantry units. And then in terms of attacks, there won't be a whole lot happening. What they will do, however, is they will try to target this German cruiser raider, as well as the torpedo boat destroyer. So German cruiser raiders can only be hit by units with a movement of 3. So they will bring in their 2 torpedo boat destroyers they have in the sea zone to the west of Japan, off of Korea. So they'll be moving 1, 2, 3 into there to try and attack that. And they will also try to move their cruiser in as well. So 1, 2, 3. So we'll see how that goes. Just noticing an attack I could have done as well this past turn, but as the Russians, but we'll leave it as it is for now. Yeah, so we'll be attempting this. So the German cruiser raider is going to be defending at a 1. The German torpedo boat destroyer will be defending at a 4. And then normally our torpedo boat destroyers in this case would be hitting at a 4 as well. But because they're targeting the cruiser raider, they reduce their combat value by 3. So 1, 2, 3, with a minimum of 1. So if you had a submarine, of course it wouldn't go down to 0, because submarines, torpedo boats, and cruisers are the only thing that can attack cruiser raiders. And then our cruiser, that is normally at a 6, goes down to a 3. So we'll go ahead and roll that. So we'll roll our 2 torpedo boat destroyers to start. So 2 at a 1. Nothing there. And then 1 at a 3 or less. Okay, so nothing there. So then we'll roll the German torpedo boat destroyer at a 4. That's a miss. And the cruiser raider will get to respond That's a miss as well. So that battle is over. Not only, or not due to it being the fall winter. So in the fall winter, when it comes to naval combat, we had some issues with this when filming the British turn, myself and Hybrid, as I had forgotten about these rules and failed to mention it to him, and only caught him after the fact, although thankfully we did. But naval combat, just like land combat, is 3 rounds. However, during the fall winter, instead of being reduced to 1 round, it is normally 2 rounds, but in this case, it would only be 1 round because we were targeting a German cruiser raider. Actually, now that I think about it, they would get to escape. So it's 1 round against the cruiser raider. So the battle can continue 1 more round. So the German cruiser raider will escape, however. Because if it was just the German cruiser raider, that battle would be over. It gets to escape. It moves into an adjacent sea zone. So he's probably not going to want to move here. So if anything, he would probably move into this sea zone here with the other German cruiser raider and his other buddies down there. I would assume, so that's where we'll put him for now. And then this battle can continue 1 more round if we wanted it to, which I think we might as well, but no more than that. So after that, it wouldn't be able to continue to a third because it is the fall winter. So we'll have 1 cruiser at A3. That was very close, but no go. And 2 torpedo boat destroyers at A1. And damn, nothing. And then the Germans 1 at A4. And that's nothing. So now that battle will be over. The German torpedo boat destroyer still stays in sea zone P50, or the one just south of Cochin, China. And then our units would have to retreat a space. So we'll just retreat them into P42, so just east of the Philippines. So that's it for the combat. In terms of non-combat, the infantry unit and cavalry in Japan are going to rail to the Russian front lines. I was told to place them where I think they're needed most. And personally, I think that getting 1 in one in Tsaritsyn, I think is a good idea for now. And the cavalry will put in Donmanich, I think, for now, is where we'll leave that one. And then we will have another infantry unit. I'll go ahead in a second and grab a sculpt for that. As well as an artillery. We're going to take the transport. Transport's going to move 1. Actually, yeah, it'll just move 1. It's yeah, it'll be safe up here. We'll bring these 2 pre-dreads just in case, but it'll move 1 and it'll drop off the artillery as well as the infantry in Primorsky Krai. So we'll go ahead and grab a sculpt for that. I'll leave you looking at Japan for now while I get something for that. So that's this infantry that got transported across into Primorsky Krai. The 2 infantry will be purchasing. We'll place one of them in Honshu, and we'll place the other one in Hokkaido. And then for placing our units, we'll put the militia in Kyushu, down over here. We'll take the coastal gun and we will place that in Tokyo. And we'll take the fortification and we'll put that in Honshu. Japan will collect 6 IPP for their income. So what they had before. I will go ahead and post the Chinese Warlord Era random events video that I do. I had already done it in advance. All the events affected Tintin. He already said what he would do. Or I believe he did. I'll have to ask him again real quick. And then you can let BGuest know, and BGuest, whenever you're able to, you can then move on to doing the American turn as well as the Chinese nationalist turn. And I will see everyone back here once again to do the random events before we move into the spring of 1915. So until then.